Something that was real. Creation is an act of sheer will.
Can't coexist. We created an ecological disaster. Come on.
Life will find a way.
Humans are...
We're racing toward the extinction of our species.
We not only lack dominion over nature, we're subordinate to it.
Plane, right?
Not exactly.
Dinosaurs that became extinct millions of years ago spread widely across the Earth and started killing humans. What do you think will happen? This is a summary of Jurassic World 2022. We continue and see a fishing boat. The fishermen were trying to catch fish. Suddenly, Mosasaurus attacked immediately after emerging from the water and destroyed the boat. All the fishermen fell into the ocean. At that time, 4 years have passed since the Isla Nublar volcanic eruptions, and humans still haven't found a way to coexist with dinosaurs. This is scientist Leo, who is trying to study dinosaurs. He founded a company called biotech and built a safe haven for dinosaurs in the mountains of Italy so he could study them there. Rumors spread around the world that a girl was cloned and created in a lab. They searched all over the world for Missy. She was genetically identical to Charlotte Lockwood, the daughter of the late Lockwood, the founder of the old Jurassic Park. We move on to Claire, who is currently trying to save dinosaurs that were being sold on the black market. She and her friend go to the warehouse where some of the dinosaurs are being held. They film dinosaurs that lived in a harsh environment. They both see a pterosaur isolated from the rest of the animals and realize it is about to die. Claire repeatedly asks them to release it because she wants to file a report and close the place down. She knows the process will take time, and the dinosaur will be dead by then. They drag the dinosaur's cage to the truck. Franklin is with them and helps them. They put the cage in the truck and leave, but the warehouse owners throw them out. Claire tries to escape and enters the dinosaur farm. Luckily, the dinosaurs attack the warehouse owners' trucks and she escaped. Meanwhile, Owen was in the mountains of Nevada, leading a herd of dinosaurs to safety. When one of the dinosaurs was straying from the herd, Owen followed it and used a rope to stop it. He managed to stop it when he tied the rope to a tree trunk. The dinosaur returned to the herd. We return to Maisie, who lived with Owen and Claire in the mountains, walking for hours on her bike, even though she knew she was putting her life in danger. Claire took Maisie to live with her and decided to care for her and hide Maisie from the world, believing it was the only way to protect her. But Maisie didn't like this life. She was adventurous and wanted to live freely. She was upset that she was a genetically modified copy of someone else, but Claire tried to convince her, saying, "You're very special." At that moment, Owen returned home and greeted his family. Claire told him that Maisie had moved back to the city. The two realized they couldn't let Maisie live between them forever, so far apart. How many meters did Blue and his son, Peter, live? Peter was a genetic match for Blue, and Blue was trying to teach Peter how to hunt rabbits. Suddenly, a wolf appeared and caught the rabbit. At night, Owen's family was gathered around a campfire. We saw a man named Brian talking to his boss. He told him that he had tracked Owen until he located his house and learned that Missy was living with him. They actually wanted to arrest Missy. Brian also told him that Blue was living with Owen. In Texas, two young boys were tending to their chicks when they saw a giant insect. On their farm, they saw a swarm of insects coming toward them, destroying everything in the alley. The boys ran to the barn to protect themselves, locking the doors until the attack was over. The next day, a woman named Ellie came to the farm to investigate. She wrote that the insects had destroyed more than 60 crops, but noted that the neighboring farm was still intact. She wrote that this happened because the farm used seeds from the company Biocene. Biocene created these insects to destroy crops, which is why demand for their seeds is so high. Ellie travels to Utah to meet her friend, Old Alan. Alan is a paleontologist and is surprised when he sees the size of the insect. She tells Ellie that if this type of insect reproduces, thousands of people will starve to death. She tells him that she suspects that Biocene created these insects and asks Alan to help her find real evidence to file a lawsuit against the company. Back to Missy, who's lighting a fire and seeing PETA for the first time. Missy approaches him, but Blue appears, and Ion orders her to stay put. Ion calls Blue and gets him to leave, telling Missy he's going. Blue orders her to go home, but Missy gets annoyed by Ion's control, so she takes her wheel and rides down to the city. What she doesn't know is that Brian has been watching her and is talking on the radio saying that Missy is going down to the city. At the same time, Brian's team is in pursuit. Brian's team hunts Beta and Bermudo Blue from the cliff. Ion hears Blue's screams, unable to stop the criminals from kidnapping Beta. Maisie was on the bridge playing games. They wanted to kidnap her. Ion sees what's happening to Maisie from afar, so he runs to the house to tell Claire that Maisie has been kidnapped. Ion pulls out his weapon, ready to pursue the people who kidnapped Maisie. Blue appears going crazy because his son was kidnapped. Ion calms him down and promises to bring Beta back. Ion and Claire then sit with Franklin and ask him for help to bring Maisie back. Franklin is able to identify Brian, who kidnapped her, and he tells them that his colleagues at work can help them find out exactly where Brian is. Eli and Alan then travel to Biocene in Italy and meet Ramsey, the right-hand man of the company's president. Ramsey takes them to the company's headquarters and then meets the scientist, Lewis, the director of the company. But Lewis was very busy, so he left Ramsey to take the guests on a tour of the place. And the first place they went to was a lecture given by a doctor named Ian, who is a doctor of mathematics and specializes in other sciences. After the lecture ended, Ian already knew. Eli and Alan sit and talk to them. Ian takes Eli aside and tells her the truth about the insects and gives her a key to the 6th floor underground. There, the insects are present. At the same time, Dr. Henry explains to Lewis that these insects are reproducing at a very high rate and have become more resilient than before. He also tells Lewis that they need to get rid of all the insects they released, but Lewis disagrees with this idea to avoid arousing suspicion about his company. He tells Henry that he was able to capture Maisie and the dinosaur Beta. Lewis wanted to use Maisie's DNA and Beta for a specific purpose. They go to a woman named Kayla, who takes money for transporting the dinosaur Beta. When Kayla sees Maisie, she understands that Maisie has been kidnapped and accepts it, but she refuses to get involved in problems. On the other hand, Claire and Owen arrive in Italy and meet their old friend Barry. After that, Ian and Claire go to a fighting ring for the dinosaurs. There are dinosaurs engaging in battles to the death. Claire happens to see Kayla and learns that she is from America. She asks her to help them search for Maisie, but Kayla refuses and tells her that she can't help them because if she does, her life will be in danger. Then, we meet Sonia, the leader of Brian's gang, and she congratulates her men for carrying out the mission that was. Brian's second mission is to transport cages of Edoraptor dinosaurs. These are very violent dinosaurs, trained to listen to their trainer and kill anyone. Brian agrees to carry out the mission, but officers appear to arrest them, but Brian and Sonia manage to escape. Ion chases Brian to find out where Maisie is, while the officers overturn the vehicle transporting the dinosaurs. Brian frees 2 of the killer dinosaurs to disrupt Ion and the officers and is able to escape. But Ion also has experience with dinosaurs and is able to escape from them. He gets into a fight with Brian and falls into the dinosaur arena, and 2 of them bite his armor, right and left, and Brian is no longer able to move. And Ion takes advantage of the opportunity to get information from him about Maisie. And Brian tells him that I sold Maisie to Sonia, and he doesn't know anything else. And Ion decides to chase Sonia, and Brian eats the dinosaurs, and the officers surround Sonia from that direction. And Sonia launches the Edoraptor dinosaurs and uses this laser to target the dinosaurs, so the officers run away immediately to save their lives and Claire. She appears and takes an electric shock to fight Sonia with it, and she is actually afraid in a fight with Sonia and is able to defeat her. She learns that the one who kidnapped Maisie was the Biocen company, and at that time the Edoraptor dinosaur appears to Claire, and Sonia identifies Claire as a target for Edoraptor. Claire was terrified and had to run away to save her life. The dinosaur was chasing her and running down the stairs at high speed. Edie took the risks and jumped from one building to another for her safety. So wiping to grow away, Barry was lively and able in the 80 settings of the dinosaur. Ion appeared and tries to grow away. They tries to road up the dinosaur and arrested her. Sonia turned on the laser on him without him noticing, which led to two of the dinosaurs chasing Ion. Another one was chasing Claire's car, but Claire was able to get rid of it using an iron pipe. Ion was driving through the city, watching dinosaurs were eating people, but there was nothing he could do. He was struggling to stay alive. Claire and Kyla reached the plane to leave them. Ion arrived after them. Claire made Kyla open the plane for Ion to ride with them before it took off. Ion arrived, and after the plane took off, the dinosaur slipped and fell into the water with Ion's motorcycle. Now later, the three of them are on their way to Biocen Corporation headquarters. And to the Newberry, Ramsey tells Ellie and Alan that we have half an hour to finish our tour before he gets to the train. Ellie meets Maisie and tells her why he needs her to finish his research. He explains that when they created Blue, they needed DNA from a lizard, and lizards can reproduce on their own without a partner. So Blue and Beta have the same genes. Maisie has the same genes with Charlotte and Henry. That wasn't Lockwood who created Maisie, but is Charlotte, and tells her that Charlotte loved dinosaurs, and that Charlotte a very clever scientist. Just as we created Blue from a lizard's DNA, Charlotte was able to create a daughter from her own DNA. When Maisie was still a child, Charlotte began to show symptoms of a genetic disorder, which caused Charlotte to die. But before she died, she was able to discover the cure and alter Maisie's DNA so she wouldn't die like her mother. Charlotte was able to alter every cell in Maisie's body. Henry wants to study Maisie's body and find out how this happened. Then he can alter the DNA of the giant insect he created today. We return to Ellen and Alan, who are disguised as employees, and enter the lab, searching for insects to take a DNA sample from them. They compare it to the DNA sample of the insect that attacked the crops. They will be able to prove that the company Biocen is a corrupt company, and they filed a lawsuit against it in court. While Doc Henry was talking to Lewis, Maisie opened Peeta's cage and took the opportunity and escaped. The alarm bell worked, and because of the sound of the alarm, the insects got excited and attacked Ellen. When they were able to get out of the room, they saw Maisie in front of them, and the three of them decided to escape together. On the other hand, Ion and Claire were approaching the company's headquarters, but the plane was attacked by a flying dinosaur named Pterosaurus, and it destroyed the plane, and it was falling, and Claire's only chair had a parachute. Aeon told her to save Maisie and try to save her life. She had no other choice. Claire tried to save herself, but when she opened the parachute, a second Tyrannosaurus attacked and destroyed the parachute. Luckily, the chair had another parachute, so she was able to get down safely. Ellie, Alan, and Maisie arrived at the train station and were surprised to learn that Ramsey had been trying to help them obtain the insect's DNA the whole time, and he would also help them escape. Claire, on the other hand, was hanging onto a tree and trying to free herself, but at the same time, a dinosaur approached her, unaware of Claire's presence. The dinosaur attacked a deer with its sharp claws. With its sharp claws, Claire took advantage of the opportunity and tried to escape. She started crawling in the forest and decided to hide in the lake when she noticed the dinosaur was approaching. After the dinosaur left, she emerged from the lake and continued on her way to the company headquarters. After the plane crashed and destroyed Ion and Kyla, they were able to live and escape with their lives. But the danger didn't end there. They were both walking on an icy pond that could break at any time, and they had to be careful while walking. But the biggest disaster was that an aquatic dinosaur appeared and descended into the icy pond and swam under Ion and Kyla. They both immediately ran out, but Ion fell into the water and the dinosaur was about to attack him, but Kyla was able to save him. They both ran again and were able to climb the bridge and take the elevator. With this, they were able to escape with their lives from the danger of this dinosaur. Kyla was able to use this device to know the location of Claire's chair, and they went there, but there was no sign of Claire. A T-Rex appeared and ate a dead deer and arrived. Another Giganotosaurus dinosaur fights with a T-Rex over food. In the end, the T-Rex gets scared and runs away. Lewis is approached by a security guard who records a recording of Ellie and Ailey stealing a sample of the insect's DNA. He suspects that Dr. Ian Floss helped them. He cuts off the electricity to the train that Ellie, Ailey, and Maisie were on. The three of them are now looking for another exit. Lewis brings Ian to his office and tells him that he is fired because he helped Ellie and Ailey get into a lab. Ian steals a car with Ramsey's help to go and help Ailey. Ailey was climbing a ladder to find an exit, but he finds a scary dinosaur chasing them. They try to escape, but every time they go, they find a dinosaur waiting for them until they reach a locked gate. They try to open it, but luckily Ian arrives and tries to guess the password for the gate, but Ramsey can't. He helps them from his place and opens the gate, and we go to Claire, who she was in the forest trying to enter the company, but now a Dilophosaurus dinosaur is approaching her. And before this dinosaur was to attack her, Ion and Kayla appear and manage to kill it at the last moment. Louis enters the lab and orders his employees to get rid of all the bugs so that the government has no evidence that Lewis is the one who created these bugs. Indeed, the employees set all the bugs on fire, and the bugs go crazy and break the ceiling of the lab and fly into the forest while they are lit, and the lit bugs fall in the forest on the dinosaurs, and a big fire happens. Ian was driving the car, and the lit bugs fall on the car, and the car has an accident and flips over, but they are all safe and no one is hurt. Ion and Claire reach them, and as soon as they see Maisie, they run to her and hug her. But Giganotosaurus appears, and our whole squad runs away immediately, except for Aya, who doesn't run away and hides in the car, and our squad. They didn't know how to escape, and the dinosaurs surrounded them, but Ellen grabbed a lit insect and got the dinosaur's attention. He threw the lit insect at the dinosaur and ran away with our group and entered the company, but Giganotosaurus didn't give up and broke the glass to eat them. However, Claire electrocuted the dinosaur in the eye, so the dinosaur decided to run away and leave them. Now our group, they need a plane to escape in, and Rams appears to help them. But before that, Ion wants to go and save the dinosaur, PETA, Blue's son, because he promised Blue that he would bring PETA back alive. However, Ion only has 10 minutes to catch the plane, and he said that he won't miss. They decide to run with Ion to distract PETA, and Owen has the chance to hit PETA with a drug and make him lose consciousness. At the same time, the whole forest is burning. Now Lewis is forced to escape from the company and rides his train as on its way to escape, but the electricity suddenly goes out. He gets off the train and walks in the tunnel. Dilophosaurus dinosaurs appear and chase him. He returns to the train and is surprised. There is a dinosaur inside, and these dinosaurs eat him and kill him. Ion returns to the team. They gather, and Dr. Henry comes to them and asks them to come with him and test Maisie's DNA so he can fix his mistake and change the DNA of the insects. Our team agrees, and Henry comes with them. They run away. Kyla was waiting for them in the plane, but before our team can escape, they see two of the largest predatory dinosaurs in front of them. The two of them enter into a bloody battle to determine who is the strongest. Our team tries to escape and save their lives. Within minutes, Giganotosaurus is able to win the battle, but a third dinosaur appears. His name is Razan, Source, and Giganotosaurus. Tear pretends to be dead and suddenly wakes up again and cleans up for Razan and Source. They both manage to kill Giganotosaurus. The next morning, journalists arrive and take information from Biocene, who reveal everything about the company to the press. Eli and Alan begin to reconnect after being separated for a long time. Ion and Claire feel proud that they saved Maisie because they consider her like their own daughter. Dr. Henry was able to change the insect's DNA, thus solving the environmental crisis that was about to happen. The United Nations issues a decision that Biocene's forest has become a nature reserve and dinosaurs can live there in peace without human interference. Ion returns home to Blue. Ion keeps his promise. Blue thanks him and bids him farewell. He decides for the third time to live alone, and Ion, Claire, and Maisie live together. Goodbye, and that's the end. I enjoyed having you with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to watch the best summaries, and share the video with your family and friends. And of course, the best for the video. I'll see you soon. Bye.